Okay, so it is December the 19th at 9:30 a.m. Pacific. Thank you for being here, Michelle and Tina. And I see Robin's just joined us, so thank you for being here, Robin. I'm just going to begin with a short teaching talk on perfectionism, and then we'll go around after that, and you'll get a chance to introduce yourself, where you're connecting from today, and your intention for being here. And then after that, we'll go into the guided meditation. And that will give people a chance to arrive if there are more people coming. So today I wanted to talk to you about perfectionism, because I have been noticing perfectionism creeping into my life and practice over the last few weeks, although I wouldn't have labeled it as such. I would have called it anxiety and maybe insomnia. But what it was showing up as was anxiety and insomnia, and then a lot of resistance to the anxiety and insomnia. So in the context of this practice, of this somatic meditation, I've noticed that when the anxiety has been showing up, when the insomnia has been showing up, or the tension that I've been experiencing in my physical or mental or emotional body, is that it's become really unacceptable to me. And so there's been a real bracing against it. So I wanted to address this today because I think it's important, and I don't think I'm probably alone in this. And I think it's a pretty important warning sign on the path on this journey. When we engage in these kinds of practices, whether it be meditation or yoga, there can be this kind of expectation, whether it be conscious or unconscious, that our lives are going to unfold perfectly from now on. That there will be no more anxiety, that there will be no more insomnia, that we'll get along perfectly with our family, our partners, that we will have no more health problems, that we'll have no more work problems, no more money problems. However, this expectation is unrealistic, and it creates its own layer of suffering. So I thought I would use my own experience to speak about this a little bit more. The anxiety arose in me this past week. It didn't just arise, but it set up shop. It made a home there. And there was a real underlying harshness and judgment towards myself for having the anxiety. So when we do this meditation, what happens is we bring our awareness to the tension. So for example, we use the big toe. We notice there's tension in the big toe. There's an awareness of the tension. And then we allow ourselves to go into it, and then there is this sort of transformation of the tension. Well, for me this week, there was an awareness of tension that felt like anxiety, and then there was a turning away from it in the form of a judgment that this really shouldn't be happening. I'm practicing all this meditation. I should be relaxed. I should be tension-free. This anxiety shouldn't be creeping up in my life. So we know from the inner critic series that we did that our inner critic can show up in the form of a perfectionist. And I think we all have these kind of ideas of how we hold ourselves to certain ideals or certain standards in our life. And I had it in my head that I should be calm and tension-free all the time. So this was my latest version of perfectionism. And this is a form of aggression that was going on for me. And so you can reflect on this in your own life, the kind of standard that you might have going on for yourself, the kind of ideal that you're holding up for yourself that might be showing up for you. So reflect on that. It might be some kind of intellectual standard. It might be some kind of social or spiritual, some kind of meditative, mental, emotional, or energetic standard that you have. Maybe this idea that you have to be up all the time, or that you have to get along with your family all the time, or that you have to get along with your friends all the time. And when we hold ourselves to these kind of standards that we have to be this kind of way all the time, it's an act of aggression and violence to ourselves. So my expectation that I was talking about, that I remain anxiety free, is an act of aggression towards myself. And this week I came to this point of recognizing that this standard that I should be anxiety free is actually a problem. It's a really big problem. And it's a form of aggression, and it's a form of self-hatred, exactly. Because when we're being perfectionistic in this way, we're actually hating ourselves. So by asking myself to be anxiety free, I was trying to pin down my process in a rigid way. So instead of being open to what was alive in me, which was totally an energy of anxiety, I wasn't allowing myself to be open to the sensations that were arising. So making room for our own experience, no matter what it is, it might be anger, it might be hostility. This is the only way that we can practice. We're not fixed beings. We're not always going to be calm. We're not always going to be tension-free. We're not objects, right? We're not inanimate objects. We're continually shifting and changing. Sometimes we will experience deep relaxation and grounding, but sometimes we will experience anxiety too. And we can't expect ourselves to be one way all the time. The minute we have a fixed idea about ourselves, then anything that doesn't fit into that fixed idea about ourselves is rejected. And this is the work of our egos. And what happens is that we tend to, we get this kind of box of what fits into our rigid identity of what's okay. And then everything else is not okay. Everything else is rejected. And we spend all of our time fighting against ourselves. So this is more aggression, more self-hatred, more judgment, and more harshness. And then there's just more and more tension. And this is a strategy of aggression, a strategy of saying no. So in my example, I didn't have any room in my concept of self for anxiety. Yet when I allow the room when I open up, when I make room in my own experience for whatever shows up without judgment, then anxiety, stress, tension, being a bitch at home sometimes can be present, and it's not a problem. And I don't need to judge and control it. I can let myself off the hook, because you know what? I'm a human being. I'm not going to be perfect all the time, and neither are you. So Reggie Ray, who's the founder of this practice, says, when we realize we do not know what we are, and we will never be able to hold on to what we are in our thinking mind, we will never be able to label it and put a stop to it. When we realize who we fundamentally are is a profound and unsolvable mystery, that is the teaching of non-self. Then we have no basis for rejecting anything. The only way we can reject parts of ourselves is if we're trying to push some kind of personal identity onto ourselves. So there's no basis for rejecting anxiety, tension, stress, anger, hostility, whatever the fill in the blank is for you. And so we make room we allow whatever comes up. This is the journey. This is the lifelong journey. And unpleasant things are going to come up, like anxiety, and we're going to want to hate ourselves for it because it doesn't fit into our identity of someone who does somatic meditation or someone who does yoga. But we make room for and we allow it into our experience, because if we don't, then we create more rigidity, more tension, more aggression, more self-hatred into the experience. So this is part of trusting the mysterious unfolding of our life. We have to allow things that are happening to us that don't fit into our concept of self, that don't fit into what we're thinking about, that don't fit into our hoping, and that don't fit into our wanting. So those are my thoughts for this morning. Kind of personal, kind of vulnerable, but I think important, because I think it's kind of the track of practice. So I open it up for you now in case you have any questions, any thoughts, reflections on that, and then we'll go around and introduce each other.
Yeah, hi Melissa, it's Tina here.
Hi, Tina.
I have a comment about what you were saying, was that it's true that you need to be able to experience everything in order to be able to learn how to deal with it, but also to be able to pass on to friends, family, whoever you come across, pass along your own experiences. And if you haven't learned how to deal with those things, or learning how to deal with things, you'll never be able to pass them along.
Yeah, and I think it's more than that too. Like, it's not a one and done thing, right? It's not like, okay, one time you're going to have the common cold and you're never going to get the common cold again. Right? Like, we are human beings. You know, we are living in the world. You know, if you have to go out in the world, you're going to come across things that are going to, you are going to get sick, whether that be physically or mentally, emotionally. You know, that it's part of living in a world with other people.
And I think also without other people, it doesn't matter, I think. Yeah, when you're alone, you can do all the wrong things or the bad things and judging yourself all the time. Yeah. So it helps to, I like that you address this issue, because it's very important, I think, I just was a bit late, sorry about that, but I was in a discussion with my son, so I know what it is. And and it stays difficult. There are times you can manage and there are times you cannot. There's also, for me, not you get better at it sometimes, but not always. It's like the same circular movement. There are times I cannot handle it, so yeah. But judging yourself is the easy way, and I think that's something I am very good at. I learned to judge myself very good, and to really acknowledge yourself that a part of you is not perfect. I think that's a more interesting approach than judging, because judging, I know that already. I can do that very well, you know. So, and it is a very negative approach towards ourselves. And it's, I think, the path of really getting to know yourself is also embracing all the parts of yourself, not only the good things. It's the same with yoga. Only doing the poses or the asanas that you like and the rest you don't, because it's a bit the same, and life is full of surprises. So yeah, I like that. I'm very happy that you address it now. Yeah, because it's also a topic for me in the meditation. I was so happy the first weeks or the first month, because I was sleeping better and I felt really great. And now it's the opposite again. I sleep bad, and it's like, oh yeah, it's not like that. We're not going this way and up and getting to this fabulous place and we can stay forever. No, it is a continuous thing. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and then this this grasping for it to be one way creates its own level of suffering, and I think that's the point that I'm trying to make, rather than being with the sensation that's present.
Yeah, and I think too that's also interesting, because we want so much to be happy, to be at ease, and we the other part, it's so suppressed in culture also. I think being an angry woman or having a bad temper is also judged very much. It's not only yourself, but it's also you grew up with that, you know. It's not feminine or whatever. And I think it's part of your personality, and you can play with it And it doesn't have to say that you always have to be in an aggressive way, but sometimes it's also a part of you. And I think to not judge your emotions and to maybe see it in TCM, they see it as energy. It's just energy arising and it comes out in a way. So that makes it maybe also easier. It's not something you make it up. You make up the story, but the emotion is there.
Right, it's just energy. It's not everything about you. Right.
Yeah, it's the story that makes you that makes the problem.
Yeah.
When you judge it and yeah.
Yep. Okay. Shall we go around and introduce ourselves, and then our intention, what you'd like to receive from your practice today, and then we'll go into the guided meditation.
I go first?
Sure, Michelle.
I'm Michelle from Bedwell in Derbyshire, and it's 10 to 6 here. And I'm feeling a bit ungrounded, feel like things, usually will run up to Christmas. So I'm looking forward to really coming into my body and connecting with the earth beneath.
Okay, so I heard that you're feeling ungrounded.
Yeah, you just usual run up to Christmas,
Yeah.
It's just like, again, it's the expectations of Christmas, isn't it? So I feel like I need to ground.
Okay, great. Thanks, Michelle.
Okay, I'm Linda from the Netherlands. And I'm very tired, so I'm really looking forward to just lie down and see what happens. Let the tension out of my body.
Okay, thanks, Linda.
Hi everyone, my name's Tina. I'm down in Cornwall, and I needed some me time today.
You need some you time today? Yeah. Have you done this practice before, Tina?
It's been a while. It was one of your first ones, I think maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you. Robin? Not sure if we can hear you. I can see that you're here, but okay.
Oh, that's a chat.
You could also, Robin, oh, okay, she's not able to speak right now. Okay, you could write in the chat if you'd like where you're from and what you'd like to receive in your practice if you'd like. All right, so we'll go ahead and lie down on the ground with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. Robin's from Victoria and she's working with grief right now. I'm going to go ahead and mute you all. So you'll bend your knees, place your feet flat on the floor. Spread your feet comfortably apart. You can let your knees fall towards each other. Make sure that your pelvis and your low back are comfortable so that you can fully relax. You may even want to put a blanket over top of you so you don't get cool. Maybe even a pillow underneath your head so that your neck is relaxed as well. And place your hands on your belly. And then start by feeling the earth underneath you, allowing your body to sink down into the earth. Feel your feet, your buttocks, your shoulders, your elbows, and your head. And allow these points of contact under the earth to be supported by the earth. The more you feel that connection, the more fully you'll be able to relax. Notice that as you lie down in this way, with the intention to come into your body, that your body starts to respond, that you are beginning to create a relationship with your body, that your body will automatically relax just by taking this position. Notice that your body is beginning to let go. In this practice, we'll begin to uncover tension and release it downwards into the earth. And we begin with our feet. So you'll put your attention into your feet. Tension maintains itself when you're not aware of it. Or as I was speaking about in the teaching talk before, when you don't allow it to exist. So when you reject it, as I was talking about with that perfectionism, holding yourself to impossibly high standards. So we are opening ourselves, we are allowing tension to come forward. So as soon as we put our attention to a certain area and we feel the tension, then we begin to develop the capacity to let go of that tension. It may not mean it begins to let go or disappear all at once, but the tension will begin to unravel, it will begin to melt. So you'll begin with your big toe. Allow your attention to go into your big toe, feeling all the sensations connected with your big toe in both feet. Feel the tip of your big toe, the top of your big toe, the underside, the sides, the bones, the muscles of your big toe. And put your awareness right into it, allowing the tension in your big toe to come forward. And as the tension comes forward, it begins to melt and dissolve down into the earth. Throughout this practice, you might feel tension in your big toe, but then you may feel tension in another part of your body. And that's fine too. That tension may begin to dissolve and let go as well. Then come into your second toe. Feel its mass and its density along the toenail, the bone, the muscles. The more your attention goes in, the more you allow the tension to come forward, the more the experience can come into your awareness, and then that magical transformation can begin to occur. There may be a little bit of releasing and relaxing that begins to happen in your second toe. And even if it seems like you can barely feel your toes at all, as you gently bring your attention, your toes will begin to wake up. And don't be too worried if you can't completely follow this practice at first. You'll just over time, you'll begin to pick it up. Then move your attention to your third toe, feeling the tension on the underside, the toenails, the inside and the outside. Let the tension come forward into your awareness. And then feel that tension begin to dissolve downwards into the earth underneath you. Moving your attention along to your fourth toes. Feeling the tightness, feeling the tension. And then feeling that dissolve down into the ground. And then bringing your awareness right into your baby toes, feeling how they're curled up and retracted, feeling the tension on the baby toenails, the bones, the muscles. And then feel that tension release and dissolve downwards. So now all 5 toes are relaxing, releasing, elongating, and letting go. Breathing into all 5 toes, feeling the new life in them, feeling the relaxation, feeling the elongation. And then coming into the balls of your feet, behind the toes, feeling the density, feeling the tightness, feeling the holding on, and knowing that you don't have to hold on anymore. You can give yourself permission to let go. You can come into the ball of your foot. You can feel the tension. You can feel the density. And then you can feel that tension begin to transform, to dissolve, to release, to let go down into the earth underneath you. And it may not be all at once, but as you allow your mind to drop right into that, you can feel that it begins to transform. Moving into the arch of your foot, feeling the tension at the front of your arch, the middle of your arch, the back of your arch of your foot. And then notice how once you bring the awareness to the tension, that it begins to dissolve and let go like rain falling from the sky. Or like sand falling through an hourglass. Then coming into your heel, feeling the tightness in your heel, feeling the density of the tissues, the muscles, the bones in your heel. And then feeling that tension moving down through your heel, like water moving through a funnel. Moving on to your ankle bones. Feeling tension on the inside ankle bone and the outside ankle bone. Allowing this to come forward into your awareness. And then feeling that melt down on the inside and outside of your ankle, down through your feet, and into the earth. And as you let go of tension in your feet, notice that the rest of your body is starting to respond as well. When you bring awareness to any one part of your body and release tension, particularly your feet, your whole body is affected. So if you find a call to release in your lower back, your shoulders, your hips, or your mid-back, feel the invitation of your body. Feel the wisdom of your body to release, accept it, and let go. Now moving to your calf muscles at the back of your lower leg, feeling the density, feeling the tightness. And then starting to feel that energy move down your lower leg, through your feet and into the earth. Becoming aware of your shin bones, feeling the tension in your shin bones. And feeling that tension slide down through your shin bones, the muscles on either side of your shin bones. So now your whole lower leg is relaxing. Feeling the tension in your lower leg and your feet release down into the earth. So it's as if you are letting go, abandoning, releasing, and relinquishing your grip on your body. And releasing all the tension. Just feel how exhausting it is to maintain the tension. Now bring your awareness to your buttocks on either side. Feel their contact with the earth. And let your buttocks connect to the earth a little bit more. Feel your pelvis. Allow your whole pelvis to relax and release, to shed its burden of tension down through your buttocks, down into the earth. Relax the muscles of your buttocks. Pay attention to your pelvic floor, your perineum. Feel the tightness and feel the holding on there. Through your genitals. Notice your upper legs through your thighs. Feel the gripping there, the tightness, the holding on. Allow your thighs to relax and release. Feel the energy traveling down through your thighs, through your buttocks and into the earth. Allow your hamstrings to relax and release. Coming into your inner thighs. Feel the tension and allow it to release. Right down through your lower back and into the ground. Feel your pubic bone and your tailbone. Feel those bones release. So your whole upper leg, your whole pelvis is melting downwards. Your sacrum, your lower belly, relaxing and releasing all the tension down through your buttocks. So there's a huge burden being released when you do this. There's no need to maintain yourself here. You're relaxing, you're releasing, you're letting go of this continual effort. And then bring your awareness to your mid-back. At the front of your chest, opposite the bottom of your breastbone. Feel the tension there. Allow it to flow down through your mid-back and into the earth. Feel the tension around your rib cage on the inside, all the intercostal muscles inside of the lungs, all the fascia on the inside of the rib cage. Allow that to melt and release down into the earth. And then bring your attention to your shoulder blades. Feel your shoulder blades touching the earth. Feeling all the tension behind your shoulder blades, up into your shoulder joints, into your upper back. Feel the tension. Feel the holding. And allow this tension and the holding to release into the ground. Feel the tension at the front of your chest, along your breastbone and your sternum. Allow it to melt along the sides of your ribs, down into the earth and into the ground. Feel the tension along your collarbones, out to your shoulders. Feel the tension, feel the holding on. Allow that tightness, allow that holding on to come forward. Allow your awareness to go right into it. Feel the tension at the top of your arm bones. And bring your awareness to your elbows resting on the ground. Allow the tension from your shoulders at the top of your arm bones to slide down your arms, through your elbows and into the earth. So you don't have to hang on. You can really let go here. And then feel into your hands, your palms, the backs of your hands and your wrists, the tension in your forearms. And allow that to slide down through your forearms, through your elbows and into the earth. So now you're feeling your 2 feet, your 2 buttocks, your mid-back, your elbows and your shoulders. And all points in your body are sinking, relaxing, releasing even more deeply into the earth, completely letting go. Energy traveling down into the earth, your whole body releasing, relaxing, and letting go. So feel into your body. Be mindful of all the sensations in your body. And when your mind wanders, just come back to your body. So you don't have to control things, you just have to bring your awareness to the sensations in your body. And then bring your attention to your head. Notice your eyes. Feel the tension in your eyes. Allow that to drop back through the back of your head and into the earth. Feel the tension in the eye sockets, the bones around the eyes. Let that soften, release, relax, let go. And feel the tension around your mouth, your teeth, your tongue, your jaw, your nose, your cheekbones. Allow this all to soften, dissolve, release, let go. Feel the tension in your forehead. Notice the tension along your occipital ridge at the base of your skull. Feel your scalp and all the hairs on your scalp. So now your whole head, your whole scalp, your whole skull is relaxing, releasing, melting, and dissolving into the earth. So bring your attention back to your whole body again, feeling your feet, your buttocks, your elbows, your mid-back, your shoulders, and your head. And breathe into your whole body. And as you breathe in, you may feel tension coming forward. Allow that tension to come forward. And as you breathe out, allow it to release into the ground. And we'll do this a few times. Breathe in. Allow whatever tension to come forward, to come forward. And as you breathe out, let that tension dissolve into the ground and begin to follow it down into the earth a little bit. And then let go of any technique and just allow your awareness to be in your body. Notice what sensations are present in your body. You're just going to allow your awareness to be in your physical body here. Enjoying the sensations of somatic relaxation. And then keeping that level of embodied awareness with you, you can slowly make your way back up to seated. Okay, so this time for you now is time for you to be able to speak about your experience if you wish, to be able to speak about your practice in general or ask questions about your practice in general if you wish. But there's no obligation to do so either. It's just an open time.
I could relax most of my body, but from my throat upwards, I didn't realise I had so much tension. It felt like my throat was being strangled. You know, there's pressure on my throat. And that stayed with me pretty much throughout the whole of the session, although it eased off a little bit when the focus was on the head. And I've been sensing that in bed a lot lately, and I feel like I'm tossing and turning and trying to find comfort for my neck. I'm not sure whether it's physical, something going on, or whether it's just through the practice, but I think I am holding a lot of tension, and I'm feeling it around this area at the minute. I could even feel it into the jawline.
So is this the first time it's come up in the meditation for you?
With being so intense, so strong. It's the first time I've had that. I do sometimes get that feeling around this area because I've got an underactive thyroid gland. Sometimes, in some positions like shoulder stand and down, then it can feel really uncomfortable. I've not really noticed that so much lying down. But it felt like around my sinuses, and then I could follow it, I could trace it into the jaw. Kind of, they talk about being aware of the tension in the teeth. It kind of even felt like that today. Yeah, the rest of my body felt I could really feel a release in the rest of my body, and especially around the perineum, that area.
Thanks, Michelle.
Can I ask you, Michelle, when I'm relaxing, I find that my mouth is opening slowly. It's really, it's opening. Do you have the same? Is it opening or?
I'm consciously working on opening it because I'm used to having my mouth closed and having the tongue behind my teeth. And in this practice, I think it talks more about letting it float in the mouth. That didn't seem very natural, but it's getting better. So that's kind of trying to find the balance between. Sometimes you can feel like I'm holding tension, trying to release the tongue.
Yeah.
But it's just feeling very much all around my head today.
So I'm going to repeat that just because it's hard to hear, Michelle, so everybody can hear that, because that's an important cue, which is in this meditation, the cue is to have space between your teeth and let your tongue float in your mouth. Because I don't know about you guys, but early on in yoga, I was taught to place the tongue on the tip of my mouth behind my teeth. It's a root lock that creates stability in the back of your neck, I think. I think that's an Iyengar cue, maybe. Were you taught that in Iyengar, maybe, Michelle?
I think in other as well, in Iyengar, but and I've heard it in other practices. But Reggie Ray talks about, really, I mean, the instructions are always to draw the ears back over the shoulders, but he talks about opening up the back of the neck.
Back of the head, yeah.
The occipital region, and I quite like that.
Yeah, I like it better too. So she's saying, so the cue often is to tuck your chin, which can lead to like this kind of thing, which actually cuts off the flow. But Reggie Ray talks about lengthening through the back of your head, which actually creates much more of the opening in the back of your central channel, your spine, which creates a lot more flow. In the new year, we're going to do a lot more sitting. We're going to do more sitting practice, and we'll last week we did a little bit of sitting, and I'm pretty sure I used that cue to sit last week as well. But yeah, that space between your teeth and let your tongue float is great. And when you do that, your jaw does relax. Yeah, as that tongue on the top of the mouth, it does tend to generate a little bit of tension there.
Yeah. Mm.
Probably as well in the seated, it's easier for the tongue to float in the seated position. That when you're laid down, then it's falling to the back of the throat more.
Yeah. But that's not to say that if you're doing a yoga posture where you need that stability in your neck, you shouldn't use that lock with the tongue in the roof of your mouth when you need that stability in your neck.
But it's interesting though that I also find it on, I think only the last last week or so, there's more releasing in the head separately. It's as if now it's the time for me that before I couldn't really feel tension in all the parts in my head, and now it's easier to let things go. And it's interesting that towards the end of the meditation, so that is the head part, I have sometimes I had this sensation of sinking, you know, as if I'm sinking through my body. It was strange. Yeah, it's not as if I'm going into the ground, but as if I'm floating in the water. So it stays very clear. It's not. Yeah, it's just if I'm sinking in water. It's quite nice. Yeah, it feels light and warm. It looks a bit like what we did, the descending in the earth, but it doesn't feel like earth. It feels like water.
Well, so that's a nice way to do earth descent, is to imagine that you're sinking through water like a deep sea diver. Yeah,
maybe it's easier, or I don't know. You stay more in contact with the sky or something. It's maybe I'm afraid of sinking in the earth. I don't know, but
no, there are just different. People have different kind of ways to access that descent, and that's one of them, and that's a perfectly acceptable way.
Yeah, but it's funny. It's only the last couple of days that sometimes it happens just a little bit, and it's a really nice feeling. Yeah. But as soon as I'm going to really think about it, like, hey, it's happening, then
it's gone.
It's gone.
It's called earthquaking or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm in class with a girl, and she does scuba diving, and that's how she does it.
Yeah, I think it reminded me of scuba diving. Yeah. It was the same.
Have you scuba dived?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so then you'd have
time
that.
ago, but it's this. You can see the light upstairs. Yeah,
okay.
That's really reassuring that there is something above you. Or
I felt like I was sliding down, my head, because I was feeling the tension in my head, but it felt like I was laid on a real steep angle. And I was,
oh wow!
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny too. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Well, I appreciate you all being here at this time of year, which is very full and busy for most people. So I appreciate that. I will see you next week. It's Boxing Day next week, but I will be here. So if this is something that you are interested in doing next week, then I will be here for you. So thanks for being here, and I will see you next week. Namaste.
No.